¿Qué tal a todos? Muy buenas noches en México. Mi nombre es Kerry Ramírez, director de Destino Australia y Nueva Zelandia. Y me da mucho gusto que nos acompañen el día de hoy en este seminario online que estoy seguro va a ser muy interesante para ustedes. Hoy vamos a platicar con Shane Ball de la Universidad de Auckland. La Universidad de Auckland, que es la universidad con el mejor ranking de toda Nueva Zelanda, ubicada en la ciudad de Auckland, obviamente, que es una ciudad espectacular. Y Shane nos va a platicar hoy de los diferentes programas de estudio que tiene la Universidad de Auckland. Tiene una gama de programas muy interesantes, de los diferentes oportunidades, beneficios, incluso los programas de becas que tienen. Y pues vamos a aprovechar que están ustedes conectados de manera transpacífica, pues para contestar las dudas que ustedes puedan tener, platicarles los procesos que hay que seguir y pues aprovechar el tiempo que tenemos con Shane Andia. Así que bueno, ya sin hacerlos esperar más, les doy la palabra a Shane, quien les va a dar esta presentación, y luego les recuerdo que al final de su presentación vamos a tener tiempo suficiente para responder las preguntas que puedan tener. ¿Ok? Te dejo contigo, Shane.
Listo, muchas gracias, Kerry. Hola a todos, mi nombre es Shane Ball. Estoy hablando desde la Oficina Internacional aquí en la Universidad de Auckland. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros hoy. Tuve la fortuna de estar en México en marzo de este año y me impresionó realmente el interés que ya va formando acerca de Nueva Zelanda, las oportunidades que ofrecemos a los estudiantes internacionales. Entonces, y otro acontecimiento para nosotros muy significativo es que ya firmamos un convenio con Conoce. Vamos a empezar a ofrecer algunas becas para gente que quieren hacer PhD en Nueva Zelanda. Entonces, todo eso significa que las relaciones entre nosotros y ustedes por allá en México, a través de nuestros socios como Conoce, como FIDER, como Destinos, Australia y Nueva Zelanda, están ya mucho más estrechos, y cosa que me alegra mucho. Entonces, muchas gracias a Aqui y también a Ernesto para brindarme la oportunidad de estar con ustedes. Voy a hablarles un poquito de lo que ofrecemos para estudiantes en México, aquí en la Universidad de Auckland. Es un destino bastante nuevo, entonces la presentación va a durar algunos, no sé, como 25 minutos, y como dijo Kerry, por favor que después de la presentación les puedo contestar las inquietudes, preguntas. La presentación va a estar en inglés, porque sé que ustedes hablan inglés bastante bien, pero ya saben que manejo un cierto nivel de español. Entonces, si hay necesidad en la hora de las preguntas, sí puedo contestarles en el español, ¿no? Entonces, vamos a empezar. Acabamos de ver el video Open Hearts, Open Minds, Open Spaces, y me gusta mucho lo que dice el video sobre lo que tenemos acá en Nueva Zelanda, ¿no? Lo primero, y para nosotros como gente acá, son los espacios abiertos, ¿no? Y ustedes ya conocen pues todos esos paisajes exuberantes que se ven en El Señor de los Anillos, el Hobbit. Y para nosotros realmente es una cosa muy importante la conexión que tenemos con la tierra acá. Y para ustedes, chévere, este país es muy diferente a México, es muy compacto. Eso significa que se puede explorar el país sin gastar mucha plata. Las distancias no son grandes, sino pequeños. Y obviamente eso les favorece en los tiempos libres, ¿no? Otra cosa que habla el video, Open Minds. Bueno, Nueva Zelanda somos apenas 4 millones de habitantes, entonces es un país pequeño, pero en términos de lo que hacemos, en nuestras industrias y el pensamiento de gente es muy progresiva, ¿no? Apenas somos 4 millones, pero sí, tenemos una forma, una cultura de innovación, digamos, que es muy emocionante porque ustedes como estudiantes de México se puede experimentar eso y obviamente al terminar sus trabajos es muy importante tener la oportunidad de poder trabajar aquí con nosotros. Lo importante es que tenemos una política de migración que es muy abierta, ¿no? Nosotros, país pequeño, necesitamos gente talentosa como usted. Tenemos pues la puerta está abierta en este momento, digamos. Ok, y eso va ligado al tercer punto del video, que es Open Hearts, ¿no? Nueva Zelanda. Bueno, yo soy casado con colombiana, acá en Auckland, uno de cada 4 personas de esta ciudad bueno, somos 1,5 millones, uno de 4 personas ya fue nacido afuera del país. Es un país que está en un estado de crecimiento y sí, como les digo, necesitamos gente y la bienvenida es muy calurosa acá. Ok, Gary, voy a pasar a hacer la presentación. Entonces, voy a share screen y poner la presentación. ¿Estoy correcto en eso?
Sí, Shane, en efecto, nada más ponle share screen y
Okay.
cuando tengas tu presentación lista, aparecerá la pantalla.
Bueno, ok. Okay, so we're going to start now with the presentation, and I'm going to start speaking in English. Okay, so let's start with the obvious. Here's the map of the world. You can see New Zealand, just on the other side of the Pacific, not too far from Mexico, and getting closer every day now. Okay, so it does look like a long way, and when I say it's getting closer, what I actually mean is that the air transport links are much better than they used to be.
Shane, I'm very sorry to interrupt you, but we are unable to see the presentation. You just need to click the screen share button that is on the, I think it's the left side of your screen.
Okay, now I've got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Kerry, can you now see the map in front of you?
Yes, now we can see
That's
everything.
great. Yeah. Okay, so here is the map I was just talking about. And as I was saying just before, the exciting news for us really is that transport links are improving to Mexico now. So I just was in Mexico in March, and I took a flight direct from Auckland to Houston. That was, I think, a 14-hour flight, 13-hour flight. And then, of course, from Houston to Mexico City is, I think, like another 2 hours. So, you know, the connections are getting better all the time. For those of you who can travel through the United States, obviously, there's a big transport hub and connection in Los Angeles with connections to New Zealand. And we've heard that American Airlines is putting on another flight this year. So, yeah, that's great news for you because the cost of the ticket is getting cheaper and cheaper every day. Fantastic. Okay, so you can see Auckland is in the north of the country. If you take a look towards the right of the map, there are 2 islands in New Zealand. The South Island is really renowned for its beautiful scenery. That's where they filmed The Lord of the Rings, and most of the scenery that you've seen, you know, online about New Zealand is down there. But we're located actually in the North Island, and we love that because of the climate. So Auckland is towards the north of the country. We have a semi-tropical climate, which is great. That means that we don't have to deal with snowfalls in winter. Snow never falls in Auckland. and at the same time in summer we don't have to deal with, you know, tremendous heat. So it's a really nice climate, and of course for you guys it's really exciting to be near the sea. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. So why study in New Zealand? You know, it's a long way away. Your parents are going to be asking you, why are you going all that way? We don't know anything about New Zealand. I think we've got three really strong points. So let's start with the most obvious. You're coming here because you need an outcome, right? You want a globally recognized qualification. So you're here to study, you're going to pay a lot of money. We understand the commitment that you and your families are going to make. You need a payoff from that, and we understand that completely. So you will be getting a globally recognized degree, a degree which you can take back to Mexico, which you can take to Australia, you can stay here in New Zealand, you can go to Europe, you can go to the United States. You're basically getting, you know, in terms of securing further employment in your profession, you're securing a global ticket to ride with your University of Auckland degree. We understand, I spent many years living in Colombia. I can understand the need for a safe and welcoming environment. Sure, for people from Mexico, there's a lot of tensions around the world at the moment. So we can assure you, and you saw this in the video, we can assure you that you're really going to receive a warm welcome when you get to New Zealand. It's going to feel like a place that you can belong to. I think, you know, when you talk to students, moving to the third point, when you talk to students that are considering studying abroad, the major reason at the moment that we're having students come to New Zealand is because of our política de inmigración. At the moment, New Zealand has very favorable conditions for those of you who wish to work while you study, for those of you who wish to be able to stay behind after you study and find employment, and for those of you, older students perhaps, who wish to bring your families to New Zealand. So, you know, before we go any further, I'd like to talk about those 3 points, okay? So if you are studying at a university program in New Zealand, you are welcome to work for 20 hours per week while you are studying. And if you're doing masters and you're on vacation, you can then work full time, okay? Now, PhD students, you can work up to 40 hours at any time on your student visa. Okay, so obviously you're doing a PhD. We don't recommend that you work all the time while you're studying, but it's great to have that facility there when you do, in those times where you do need to focus on working and earning money for your family. The second point is about your ability to stay in New Zealand once you've completed your studies. Okay, so New Zealand has a very progressive policy with regards to post-study work rights. What does that mean? That means the right for you guys, once you've finished your degree, to stay in New Zealand. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. So if you do manage to graduate from your program, you can stay in New Zealand for 3 years afterwards if you choose to do so. How do you do that? The first year after you've finished your student visa, you can apply for a post-study work visa, which is for 1 year. Now that visa is open. Yeah, it's a visa de búsqueda de trabajo. Está abierta. No se necesita una oferta laboral. So you do not need a job offer. It's plainly just to let you find a job, okay? Now, once you have a job offer, you can then extend that visa for 2 years more. But obviously, you need a job offer at that stage. So you can study for as little as 1 year in New Zealand and stay here for up to 3 years longer. And that situation's not to be repeated anywhere else in the world. Even in Australia, you must stay, or you must study for at least 2 years to gain those years of post-study work rights, okay? So New Zealand, yeah, that reflects the need that we have to attract talented people to the country. And that's not going to change anytime soon. Our economy at the moment is quite buoyant. We're not in recession at all. We're in a stage of growth, and we need talent to stay here and to work, okay? The third point, family-friendly visa conditions. Now, this is also exciting. So if you're a master's student or a PhD student, and you wish to bring your family with you while you study, you can do so quite easily. Okay, so let's pretend, suppose that you have a family like mine or like Kerry's. You have husband and wife, and you've got 2 kids, in my case. Okay, let's say the husband is going to study. Okay, the wife, or the pareja, can get an open work visa to accompany the person that is studying, okay? Now that visa is open, so that person can work, you know, full-time in what they want. Now, this is interesting. The 2 kids, in my case anyway, the children are able to get student visas to study in New Zealand, and those kids, or you, will be paying the same amount of fees that we New Zealanders pay to educate our children. Now, in my case, I have 2 children, as I said. I pay around 1,000 New Zealand dollars, which I would say is probably around $600 US per year. Now, those of you who have their children in colegio bilingüe or international schools, I'm sure you're paying like that much per month. So when you start to look at the cost of bringing your whole family, you know, it's already becoming New Zealand quite an attractive proposition. Your pareja can work, your children are paying domestic fees, and of course you're able to work as well. So that for me is a really convincing argument for studying in New Zealand. So let's move on, and you've seen some of the scenery in the video, so we won't dwell. Okay, so this is Auckland, and you can see it's next to the sea, which is very important for Latinos. Obviously, many people in Latin America are living in the mountains, including yourselves that live in Mexico City. So you can see it's very important for us, the contact that we have with the sea. You know, in summer, it's very traditional for us to go down and have a swim in the ocean after work, which is very cool. To drink a beer on the beach and eat fish and chips on the beach and take our kids swimming. We can still do that. We have a pristine environment in Auckland City. And of course, you know, the Latinos love going to the beach as well. So let's take a look at the dotted area in the photo. That's the campus of the University of Auckland. As you can see, we're right in the middle of the city. So that's fantastic in terms of being able to get transport to the city, and also to be able to find work and to find accommodation as well. So you can see to the left of the map, you can see that there's quite a few high-rise buildings. Quite a few of those are actually student accommodation, okay? So, you know, you guys that live in Latin America, you're used to living in apartments. A lot of cultures aren't actually, but for you guys, it's no big deal to come and to get an apartment and to share with friends. Usually that involves like sharing the costs of food and sharing the living spaces, and everyone with their own private bedroom. And that's a very economical way to live. You know? Okay. Auckland is known as the city of sails because of the contact we have with the ocean. And as I said before in the introduction, it is a global city. You know, I guess like when I was your age, 20 years ago, you know, there was really two cultures in Auckland. There were the European people. My ancestors came from England, actually. And there were the indigenous Māori people. Now that situation is completely different. We have people from all over the world, including Mexico, and yeah, you know, every culture in the world is now represented in Auckland, which is, you know, exciting for a person like me that was born, you know, New Zealand 20 years ago. In terms of the cultures was boring, but now we have all of you guys coming. You add so much life and spice to our city. You know, obviously every week there's a different festival going on, and of course, you know, if you're coming from Mexico, obviously we appreciate your fantastic food, which is you know, able to be bought in the city. And it's the third most livable city in the world. So what does that mean? We've done a survey, or there is a survey done every year by a firm called Mercer. They look at things like the cost of living, chance to get work, safety, security, etc., etc., etc. So we've got the third ranking in the world behind, I think it is Vienna and Zurich. So it is a fantastic place to live. The university was established in 1883. So that's why we have that central location, right? It's because, you know, we grew up with the city. Auckland itself is, you know, was founded not much earlier than 1883. The University of Auckland is the biggest university by far in the country. We've got now 42,000 students, over 5,000 staff, and we've got 6,500 international students. So we are the size of a small town. In terms of our ranking, this is the good news for us. We are ranked number 82 in the world. And that's coming from the QS World University Rankings 2015-2016. So we've just secured that ranking over the last few months. We are by far the most dominant university here in New Zealand in terms of our representation in the top of subject lists. So what does that mean? Let's take a look. When you take a look at we've got an overall ranking of 82, right? When you take a look at the subject areas, we've got an even better ranking in some subject areas. For instance, our arts and humanities faculty is 28th in the world. Social sciences and management, 36. Engineering is 59. Engineering is very important obviously for you guys in Mexico. Life sciences and medicine, 70. Natural sciences, 134. Okay. And if you take an even closer look at what's going on here. So archaeology is number 20 in the world. Education, 23 in the world. Development studies, 26 in the world. Psychology, 29 in the world. I'll just take a pause and let you take a look at the other subjects there. Kerry, are you seeing me and hearing me fine?
Yes, Shane, everything, it sounds really, really good. And it's so interesting to see the great rankings that you have. Like, I was just putting in the chat, like those rankings are amazing because we're talking about rankings that the big American universities, like the well-known universities in America will have. And that gives you, you know, an idea of the level that you have in University of Auckland. So congratulations. I know that it's a big effort from the university. So yeah, and that speaks highly of the kind of experience that Mexican students will have over there.
Absolutely. What you're saying is true, Kerry. The last year, actually, we've had a tremendous effort, and we've gone actually in our rankings from 92 in the world to 82 in the world. So we've jumped 10 places against the likes of all of those big, UK and US universities. So these subject rankings came in actually 2 weeks ago. So hot off the press. And for you guys that are about to spend a lot of money, right? Very important to know and to be able to reassure your parents and your loved ones that your investment is a quality investment. Yeah. So let's move on. And the other thing that's important to remember is your reputation with employers as well. So it's vital for you that once you have your degree, you're able to get a job, correct? So the QS people that do the rankings for the uni, they go around global employers, multinacionales, and they ask them, how does the University of Auckland degree rank in comparison to, the degrees coming from, let's say, American universities? Look at the results. So if you have a degree in life sciences or medicine, 12th in the world. Engineering, 19th in the world, and that's important for you in Mexico. Social sciences and management, 25th in the world. Natural sciences, 25th. Arts degrees, 40th in the world. Okay. International students. Okay, so basically what this graph is telling us is that we do have, you can see there's a large bar on the left. Those are our Chinese students. We've got 2,500 Chinese students at the moment out of 6,352 students. If you look third from the right, you can see how many Latin American students we have. So in 2015, we only had 129 students. So that means you're very special people. So we can guarantee we can take good care of you. You definitely won't be speaking much Spanish on this campus. Okay, so what kind of programs do we offer here in New Zealand? So generally in New Zealand, bachelor's degrees, primera carreras, 3 to 5 years, usually it's 3 years. So, in Latin America, most of you, I think, will have done 5-year first degrees. So there's a huge saving there in time as well, if you can do your bachelor's degree in 3 years. Most of you, however, will be interested in postgraduate study. For us, we teach postgraduate diplomas, which are 1 year, or a master's degree, which is 1 or 2 years. And that can be by research or it can be by coursework, okay? And doctorates in New Zealand are usually 3 to 4 years. Usually 4 years, actually. So our faculties, we have the arts faculty, we have the business school, we have creative arts and industries, education and social work, engineering, law. We have medical and health sciences, and we have science. So I'm quickly going to go through some of our most popular programs with Mexican students, okay? So our Faculty of Arts ranked 28th in the world. There are some of the subjects that we teach. Popular in Mexico, museums and cultural heritage, translation, development studies. We have a new Indigenous Studies degree, which has just been launched, actually. Anthropology, we have film and TV studies as well. And in terms of what programs, these, well, if we take a look at the master's degree programs, the ones at the bottom of the list actually are the ones which are probably most important for you guys in Mexico. Master of Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, Master of Public Policy, Master of Professional Studies in Translation, and also in International Relations and Human Rights. Okay. So let's move to our business school. You can see in this slide the business school behind these people. Very impressive, and it's probably our flagship building, beautiful place. But you can also see at the bottom of the screen is that we've got our Triple Crown accreditation, which is very important for those of you who are coming from a business background. We're ranked 34th in the world for accounting and finance and 50th for management. Okay. Important. These are the subjects that we study. These are subjects that are studied at undergraduate and postgraduate level. And these are the programs. So let's take a look at the master's programs. The Master of Commerce is a research master's degree in commerce. The other ones are 18-month taught masters. Okay, so that's una maestría por curso, no? So 18 months, and there's no big thesis involved. This is they're called what we call taught masters programs. They're excellent. They're at the level of executive education. Quite a lot of interest in these programs when I was last in Mexico. Okay. We have a creative arts and industries faculty. For those of you, this is not just artes plásticas. We also teach architecture, and we teach urban planning and urban design as well as dance, fine arts and music. Again, looking at the masters here, we have a Master of Architecture and Masters of Urban Planning at the bottom of the list there. Very popular with the students from South America. Good interest in Mexico City around urban planning and urban design. Obviously, that's a very important thing for you as you go about your urban regeneration in DF. Okay. Education.
Sorry if I can just interrupt you for a second.
Yes.
I just want to complement what you were saying, and let me just switch to Spanish for a second. En estas tres facultades que nos presentó Shane, la de negocios, que está súper bien rankeada, todo lo que es la parte de artes y esta parte de Creative Industries, es importante que ustedes sepan que CONACYT apoya estos programas también. Es a través del acuerdo que tienen con CONACYT PUNED, y aunque no son programas donde les cubra totalmente el programa, sí hemos nosotros calculado que les cubriría entre el 50 y el 60% de programa. Ahora, también lo que es muy importante es lo que decía Shane, porque eso es una diferencia muy importante con lo que encontrarían ustedes en Australia, donde muchas de las maestrías que van a encontrar en la Universidad de Auckland son de 18 meses o de 3 semestres, a diferencia de 2 años. Entonces, ahí ustedes se ahorrarían el costo de un semestre, que es un costo importante. En 18 meses ustedes pueden obtener su programa de maestría. Entonces, simplemente recalcar, perdón, Shane, que te he interrumpido, pero valía la pena comentarles eso, que para programas de negocios, para programas de arquitectura, de urban planning, urban design y toda la parte de artes o ciencias sociales, que está muy bien rankeada la Universidad de Auckland, ustedes podrían obtener esos apoyos de CONACYT que tiene con este convenio de FUNED, y nosotros obviamente les ayudaremos en todo momento. Todavía para este año tenemos 2 fechas en las que pueden ustedes participar. Una es en septiembre, la otra es a finales de mayo. Entonces, en su momento, pues, también les daremos la información. So, sorry, Shane, it's just that I thought it was relevant just to talk about those scholarship programs.
Always relevant to talk about money, Gary. Okay. All right, so let's move on with the Faculty of Education. So we're ranked 23rd in the world. Those of you who are interested in teaching, the Faculty of Education focuses on teaching at every level, right from small children right through to secondary school. They also have social work. Physical education actually is also very popular. For those that wish to become a licensed teacher here in New Zealand, you can see on the list the Graduate Diploma in Teaching. This is a 1-year program designed for people that have their first degree. 1 year. You learn how to be a teacher. After that 1 year, you're able to get your registration and to be able to go out and teach here in New Zealand. Okay, so those of you, well, all of you, obviously, are Spanish speakers. I mean, there's great opportunities. Interest here in New Zealand is is definitely growing in Spanish, and they definitely need teachers here that are fluent in Spanish. So very different situation from the United States, of course. And Master of Education, Master of Professional Studies in Education, their research degrees as well. There's also a Masters of Educational Leadership, which is very popular. Okay. Faculty of Engineering, well, this is the big one for Mexico. We're ranked 59th in the world. Here are our strengths. I guess, you know, the most interesting, biggest strength for us in Mexico is our focus on energy. Okay, so, you know, speaking of Becas, I know that Conoce has Becas available for those of you who are working as engineers in the sustainable energy fields. We have a number of degrees which are suitable for those people, master's degrees in energy. I'm going to talk about those in a second. So it's a huge field. I understand also that Conoce has some Becas available with Seminario, which I believe is your electricity, state electricity body as well. So if you're an engineer interested in energy, perfect choice to come to the University of Auckland. We have the degrees that Conoce is going to love. Okay, so that's great news for you. That means, you know, you're going to get funding. But also, you know, we have strengths in biomedical engineering. So that's kind of putting machines on bodies. That's a very important thing for us. Mechatronics also is very important. Environmental engineering, again, you know, part of that whole sustainable engineering and sustainable economy story that we're so renowned for. So let's take a look at the degrees. We have great degrees for Mexican students. So the first one to point out is the Master of Engineering there. That is a 2-year program. That's a research program for those of you who are interested in doing a thesis. You have 1 year of classes, and I'm sorry, no, that is actually a 2-year thesis program, that one. But we also have a Master of Engineering Studies. Now, Master of Engineering Studies is 1 year, essentially, and it's by coursework. And it's in any of these topics that we've just looked at, right? So that's a perfect degree for a student that wants to come from Mexico, do an engineering degree for 1 year in one of those subjects. That gives you the full, obviously you get a great degree, you get to stay in New Zealand for a year after your studies, you can bring your family with you, gives you all of those work rights and visa rights that we talked about. Another 2 degrees that you can see on the screen, the Master of Energy that is a 1-year program, and that's a program that's mixed between engineering and business. Yeah? So basically it's about the generation and supply and continued supply of energy. So it's a mixture of business and engineering topics. Very, very popular, obviously, for Conoce. They're loving this at the moment because it sort of ticks all of the boxes because you have a tremendous labor shortage in that field in Mexico. Finally, Master of Disaster Management. Unfortunately, there is a rising demand for professionals that are skilled in disaster management. Another good example has occurred in Ecuador in the last few days. So we are actually getting quite a few Latinos coming through to do that degree as well. Okay, moving on to law, 32nd in the world. You know, our focus really is international law, so it's not on New Zealand law so much as international. We're very well known for our positions in the UN. We're for a very small country, we exert a lot of influence in those global forums. And the University of Auckland is very much at the heart of that effort. For instance, we're getting quite a few students we're getting students coming to us from Colombia, for example. Colombians are reaching, you know, the final stages of their their peace process, and very interested in human rights and in international law, dispute, obviously, resolution as they go through that period of addressing those human rights abuses over the last 50 years in Colombia. So unbelievably and surprisingly, we are getting quite a few of those students coming into our law program. So the point I'm trying to make is it's not just New Zealand law that we're teaching. Okay, so most of those students are doing an LLM, like a Master of Laws degree. Medical and health sciences. Now really, for those of you who are coming from Latin America, if you're wanting to do clinical medical degrees, my recommendation is to stay there. Yeah, the reason is that studying medicine away from your country is very expensive. The registration process is complicated, but the opportunities for you are there more in the policy side. So looking at things such as public health, looking at things such as health leadership. So I'd like to point out the 3 master's degrees, which you can see on the bottom of your screen there. The first one is the Master of Health Leadership. This is a program basically for professionals that may have come from the health field, or they may have come from an unrelated field, want to get into health administration. Very popular program. Health science, basically is health related, any of these kind of topics, medicine, nursing, optometry, public health, those kind of subjects you can study there in a health science degree. That is 1-year program, and a Master of Public Health as well. Public health, public policy, obviously very popular in Latin America. And finally, our Faculty of Science. So we're ranked 70th in the world in science. For you guys, here are the areas which are probably of most interest for you. We have environmental and earth sciences, again, important for Conoce. Food safety is important for us. We have a marine science lab. Data science, we've got a Master of Information Technology degree this year, which is the first time that we've had this degree. This is a degree for people who may not, it's like a bridging degree, right? You might have come from a management position or a position unrelated to IT. It's a 1-year program, which will sort of take those skills and give you the tech skills to be able to come out and to be a person who's able to administer or to work within the IT field. So great opportunity there. In terms of securing employment in New Zealand, fantastic. Worth pointing out the Master of Professional Studies in Data Science and Digital Security too. Fantastic for getting jobs. Okay, I'm just looking at the time, Kiri, so just want to run through 2 more important things really. First is for those of you who are interested in PhD. Now, studying PhD in New Zealand is fantastic opportunity for you at the moment. So even if you don't get any funding from, sorry, just plug my phone in. Even if you don't get funding from Conoce for your living expenses, and you're paying for your fees, look at the price that you're paying. Okay, in New Zealand, the government has an initiative which is charging you guys, international students, the same as New Zealand students. So you will be paying $4,438 per year for your PhD, which is probably cheaper than doing it in Mexico. Okay. So very, very cheap. Now, the way to apply for your PhD is at the agency. Please go and see, if you're in Mexico City, go and see Ernesto and his team. They'll help you. They will take you right through the whole process of finding a supervisor and going through the application process, okay? Obviously, we talked before about your spouse. has the opportunity to work, to support you. Your kids go to school paying the same as my kids. So how does that work usually? Right, the husband or the wife is working during the week, the student is studying during the week, and the weekends, it changes around, and they share care of the kids. One other thing I wanted to talk about, scholarships and funding, very important for Mexico, of course, and for anybody. We're looking really good for helping you with money. Okay, why is that? So we've just signed with Conoce. You won't see this on the Conoce website because it's just happened in the last couple of weeks. But we have signed an agreement. They'll be funding up to 10 PhD students per year. Okay, so they're fully funding your trip here to New Zealand. We also have University of Auckland doctoral scholarships. Now, for those of you who don't get support from Conoce, the University of Auckland doctoral scholarships, we have 200 of those available. Now, if you have a very good promedio, and I think in Mexico it's 7, if I'm correct, in your studies, you'll be automatically considered for one of these scholarships when you apply, right? So you'll just check a little box saying, yes, I want to be considered for that scholarship. And that's going to give you basically your living expenses for 4 years. So with any kind of luck, you won't be paying anything at all to do a PhD in New Zealand. So great news there. Now, good news also for students that are looking at doing master's degrees. Yeah. So Conoce, obviously, just applying to Conoce for support for STEM subjects is, I understand that they're very supportive of STEM subjects across all of our faculties. STEM is technology-related subjects. Conoce, we talked about the Conoce Senate agreement. I'm not sure if I spelled that right. They're giving scholarships for energy students. Talk to Destinos about the detail of that agreement. We also have an agreement with FIDER, sorry. They are also a source of funding that are available and open to you. We also have scholarships, and Kerry, I don't know if you have received email recently, but today we've opened a new University of Auckland International Student Scholarship. Now these are worth $10,000 for students that are doing taught masters. So not by thesis, but maestría por curso. We have 10 scholarships of $10,000 each. We would love to give one of those scholarships to Mexican students. It'd be great if we could give it to a Mexican student from Destinos. If you have a look on our website, particularly the International Students website, I'll probably show you that in a second, you're going to see the link and where to apply for that scholarship.
Wow, Shane, that's really good news. That's excellent. Yeah. So thank you so much. We are very excited about it. Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. Us too. It's a big release for us today. So great news. We also have, the business school has, remember those taught masters 18-month degrees we're talking about? Listen, if you have a good grade point average, I would say you have an excellent chance of applying for a University of Auckland Business School scholarship and getting a $30,000 scholarship as well. We also have $10,000 scholarships in the Faculty of Arts. So you guys, talented people coming from Mexico, we don't have a lot of Mexican students. We are, as I say, really opening the door now in terms of scholarships for you. And I would say, I would encourage you to apply for as many of those scholarships as possible because, frankly, I think you stand. Obviously, we want to get students from all over the world, and we don't have students from Mexico. We would love to give some of those scholarships to Mexican students. So that's a great opportunity. So very briefly, I'm going to come out of this están acá, están trabajando en el inglés hasta como Navidad. ¿Ustedes les gusta regresar a su país para compartir Navidades con familia y regresar aquí para seguir en hacer su posgrado? Con esa visa ya estás organizado, ¿no? Se puede ir en diciembre, regresar. Anteriormente, no, qué pena. La visa para los dos eran dos visas, ¿no? Entonces, cuando uno se fue, regresó a su país, sí, había necesidad de tramitar visa y todo el mundo en vacaciones, no, horrible. Entonces, ese Pathway Visa también está facilitando estudios de inglés para complementar el posgrado. ¿Okay?
Perfecto, Shane. Pues muchísimas gracias. Como pueden ver, también está esa opción del inglés, ya sea para ustedes irse simplemente a mejorar su inglés en lo que es la mejor escuela de mayor calidad de toda Nueva Zelanda, que tiene convenio con la Universidad de Auckland, o como le llaman un pathway, un camino para mejorar su nivel y luego ya empezar sus estudios universitarios o de investigación, etcétera. Ya nos tenemos que ir. Les agradezco muchísimo que nos hayan acompañado. Como pueden ver, la Universidad de Auckland es una universidad de altísimo nivel que les ofrece una excelencia, una calidad educativa de lo más alto que ustedes pueden encontrar en un país que es precioso, maravilloso, que se disfruta muchísimo, que además les da la oportunidad de trabajar mientras están ustedes estudiando y que además, si ustedes quieren permanecer en Nueva Zelanda, que es uno de los mercados laborales pues más dinámicos del planeta, ustedes lo pueden hacer. Entonces, pues la verdad está maravilloso, hay opciones de becas y nosotros en Destino con todo gusto les vamos a estar ayudando. La verdad es que siempre nos llena de gusto ver que jóvenes mexicanos o latinoamericanos cruzan el Pacífico y constantemente hay una muy buena experiencia que contar. Entonces, eso es para nosotros lo más importante, ver que ustedes alcancen su desarrollo profesional, que tengan una gran experiencia de vida, porque la verdad es que uno crece muchísimo. Yo fui un estudiante internacional y cambió completamente mi vida, mi experiencia de estudiante al extranjero. Y bueno, pues con eso ya cerramos esta presentación. No me queda más que agradecerle a Shane, que tu español es muy bueno, Shane. Dices que no, pero es muy bueno. Entonces, gracias por todo su apoyo. Esperamos verte en México pronto, o si no, pues a través de estos canales que la tecnología nos ofrece. Y a todos ustedes estaremos en contacto, les vamos a mandar un correo con más información, con más detalle, pues para seguir la conversación. Este es el inicio de lo que será su proceso para estudiar en Nueva Zelanda y créanme que vale mucho la pena. Está ahí la oportunidad y bueno, pues es cosa de trabajarla para obtenerla. Shane, do you want to say something to say goodbye?
No, pues no mucho más. Muchas gracias por la oportunidad. Con mucho gusto, ha sido un gusto estar aquí con ustedes y ya están en buenas manos con Destinos. Entonces, aquí estamos esperando con mucho cariño.
Bueno, ojalá que haya ya más mexicanos para que la próxima vez suene mariachi atrás cuando estés tú hablando.
No, mi hijo menor está andando con una camisa de fútbol que dice Chicharito. Chicharito, sí. Estamos empezando con un mexicano aquí. Okay. Bueno, chao.
Ok, perfecto. Pues gracias a todos, estamos en contacto y nuevamente gracias a Shane. Que pasen muy buenas noches en México, buenas tardes en Nueva Zelanda. Mi nombre es Kelly Ramírez, director de Destino. Entonces, con todo gusto estaremos en contacto con ustedes. Hasta luego. Chao. Y luego les recuerdo que al final de su presentación vamos a tener tiempo suficiente para responder las preguntas que puedan tener. ¿Ok? Te dejo contigo, Shane.
Listo. Muchas gracias, Kitty. Hola a todos. Mi nombre es Shane Bull. Estoy hablando desde la Oficina Internacional aquí en la Universidad de Auckland. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros hoy. Tuve la fortuna de estar en México en marzo de este año. Y me impresionó realmente el interés que ya va formando acerca de Nueva Zelanda, las oportunidades que ofrecemos a los estudiantes internacionales. Entonces, y otro acontecimiento para nosotros muy significativo es que ya firmamos un convenio con Conoce. Vamos a empezar a ofrecer algunas becas para gente que quieren hacer PhD en Nueva Zelanda. Entonces, todo eso significa que las relaciones entre nosotros y ustedes por allá en México, a través de nuestros socios como Conoce, como FIDER, como Destinos, Australia y Nueva Zelanda, están ya mucho más estrechos, y cosa que me alegra mucho. Entonces, muchas gracias a Aqui y también a Ernesto para brindarme la oportunidad de estar con ustedes. Es muy importante la conexión que tenemos con la tierra acá. Y para ustedes, chévere, este país es muy diferente a México, es muy compacto. Eso significa que se puede explorar el país sin gastar mucha plata. Las distancias no son grandes, sino pequeños. Y obviamente eso les favorece en los tiempos libres, ¿no? Otra cosa que habla el video, Open Minds. Bueno, Nueva Zelanda somos apenas 4 millones de habitantes, entonces es un país pequeño, pero en términos de lo que hacemos en nuestras industrias y el pensamiento de gente es muy progresiva, ¿no? Apenas somos 4 millones, pero sí, tenemos una forma, una cultura de innovación, digamos, que es muy emocionante porque ustedes como estudiantes de México se puede experimentar eso, y obviamente al terminar sus trabajos es muy importante tener la oportunidad de poder trabajar aquí con nosotros. Importante es que tenemos una política de migración que es muy abierta, ¿no? Nosotros, país pequeño, necesitamos gente talentosa como usted. Tenemos pues la puerta está abierta en este momento, digamos. Ok, y eso va ligado al tercer punto del video, que es Open Hearts, ¿no? Nueva Zelanda. Bueno, yo soy casado con colombiana, acá en Auckland. Uno de cada 4 personas de esta ciudad, bueno, somos 1,5 millones, una de 4 personas ya fue nacido afuera del país. Es un país que está en un estado de crecimiento, y sí, como les digo, necesitamos gente, y la bienvenida es muy calurosa acá. Ok, Gary, voy a pasar a hacer la presentación. Entonces, voy a share screen y poner la presentación. ¿Estoy correcto en eso?
Sí, Shane, en efecto, nada más ponle share screen y
Okay.
Cuando tengas tu presentación lista, aparecerá la pantalla.
Bueno, ok. Okay, so we're gonna start now with the presentation. And voy a hablarles un poquito de lo que ofrecemos para estudiantes en México, aquí en la Universidad de Auckland. Es un destino bastante nuevo, entonces la presentación va a durar algunos, no sé, como 25 minutos, y como dijo Kerry, por favor que después de la presentación les puedo contestar las inquietudes, preguntas. La presentación va a estar en inglés, porque sé que ustedes hablan inglés bastante bien, pero ya saben que manejo un cierto nivel de español. Entonces, si hay necesidad en la hora de las preguntas, sí puedo contestarles en el español, ¿no? Entonces, vamos a empezar. Acabamos de ver el video Open Hearts, Open Minds, Open Spaces, y me gusta mucho lo que dice el video sobre lo que tenemos acá en Nueva Zelanda, ¿no? Lo primero, y para nosotros como gente acá, son los espacios abiertos, ¿no? Y ustedes ya conocen pues todos esos paisajes exuberantes que se ven en El Señor de los Anillos, el Hobbit. Y para nosotros realmente es una cosa.
¿Qué tal a todos? Muy buenas noches en México. Mi nombre es Kerry Ramírez, director de Destino Australia y Nueva Zelandia. Y me da mucho gusto que nos acompañen el día de hoy en este seminario online que estoy seguro va a ser muy interesante para ustedes. Hoy vamos a platicar con Shane Ball de la Universidad de Auckland. La Universidad de Auckland, que es la universidad con el mejor ranking de toda Nueva Zelanda, ubicada en la ciudad de Auckland, obviamente, que es una ciudad espectacular. Y Shane nos va a platicar hoy de los diferentes programas de estudio que tiene la Universidad de Auckland. Tiene una gama de programas muy interesantes, de los diferentes oportunidades, beneficios, incluso los programas de becas que tienen. Y pues vamos a aprovechar que están ustedes conectados de manera transpacífica, pues para contestar las dudas que ustedes puedan tener, platicarles los procesos que hay que seguir y pues aprovechar el tiempo que tenemos con Shane Candia. Así que bueno, ya sin hacerlos esperar más, les doy la palabra a Shane, quien les va a dar esta presentación.